It's a victory Monday here inside the vault, the 17th of November. It's week 12 for the Ravens, who are now 5-5. I guess for the rest of the NFL, it'll be week 12 by the end of tonight, Monday Night Football, finishing up. But great to be with you guys nonetheless. I'm Bobby Trossett, as always, joined alongside my co-host and partner, Sarah Ellison. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Gumtree, Maryland. More on them in just a bit. Linda has already dropped in a $100 super chat, so she's feeling the love on this Victory Monday, and we're going to get to Morrow the Wizard and everybody else who chimes in today via super chat, gifts, and so on and so forth. We're glad you guys are here with us. The Ravens, 23-16 victors over Cleveland. They swept the regular season series yesterday, and Sarah, they had not won all that often at their place. Matter of fact, going into yesterday, they had dropped 3 of their last 4. So they get that monkey off their back, a much-needed victory. The Jets are now coming to town this week, and as we just learned a short while ago, Justin Fields will not be QB1. It'll be former Raven Tyrod Taylor. So that's I suppose, some breaking news that will be relevant later on this week as we get ready to turn a page. But obviously, we're not quite there yet. Still having to unfold and unpack, I should say, every aspect of yesterday's hard-fought AFC North victory.
Yeah, no, here we go. Another former Raven quarterback that the Ravens can prepare for. And that, it's always nice when you go against quarterbacks that you know really well because you can game plan against them pretty well. So the Jets, we'll get to it later, but obviously whether it's Fields or Taylor, the Ravens should win that game. But we're still reacting to what went down yesterday and how things are looking. The Ravens, it's just seriously unbelievable that a month ago, the Ravens were 1-5 heading into the bye, and everything looked bleak. Everything looked dark. Everything was depressing. Everybody was like needing to put for sale signs in their front lawn, as Terrell Suggs said when he went on different shows over the weekend, that it's like, I may not be here much longer, so I got to put my house up for sale. And now here we are since the bye, Ravens undefeated. They're 4-0. And it's kind of crazy because even though they're 4-0, if the playoffs started today, the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Lions would all miss out on the playoffs. But that's why you got to play a full season, because something tells me the majority, if not all 3 of those teams, will still make it into the playoffs.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be a good way to start, right? Just kind of looking at where things are at entering week 12 and how things could very well change in the next, month plus if the Ravens continue to trend in the direction that they appear to be heading in. So in terms of today's rundown, we're going to get into a number of different aspects of yesterday's win, including this invoking, if you will, of zero sympathy or a killer instinct, if you will, from a Ravens defensive standpoint, going from, Dylan Gabriel to Shedeur Sanders when Dylan went into into concussion protocol. And of course, I think the umbrella over all of this is that they're rookies. And as Roquan Smith said, they're rookies. And we had to remind them that they're rookies. And I think that sentiment was shared universally throughout some of the Ravens defensive locker room and post-game media availability. And we've got snippets to suggest exactly that throughout the next couple of minutes. Kyle Van Noy had some thoughts aimed at the Browns offensive line, specifically Wyatt Teller, who made a big stink out of a no call on Draymond Jones and what became the winning pressure and ultimately set up the Roquan Smith pass breakup. We'll share KVN's thoughts from his podcast. Kyle Hamilton by the numbers, all world stuff. And perhaps his candidacy is growing week by week for Defensive Player of the Year. The only issue is that when Myles Garrett is in your conference, well, I think that speaks for itself. But one team is going in one direction, another appears to be heading in a different one. So shall we dive into this opening topic? And I know you had some thoughts here before we do.
Well, no, as we do, this will open it up. So it was very interesting because obviously Shedeur Sanders did not play well. He had, little to no chance against this Ravens defense. And what we always do, Bobby, is obviously you and I always have our instant reaction after the game. But then there's always how is everybody else reacting? Like, how's the national media reacting? Well, nobody's really talking about the Ravens. Shedeur Sanders has just stolen the spotlight as he is expected, because he did drop to the 5th round of the draft. It has been messy at the quarterback situation in Cleveland, and it just feels right though that the Ravens are at the hand of sending them even to deeper controversy and deeper, like, here we go, it's the Browns again. And so, but what everybody's talking about the game is whether or not Shedeur Sanders was prepared properly by their coaches. So Daniel Oufusi, who we've had on the show, friend of the program, tweeted out last night that his coach of the Browns, Kevin Stefanski, confirmed that the second half of today's game was Shedeur Sanders' first snaps with the starting offense since he was drafted by the Browns. So lots of controversy of, like, they're setting him up to fail. They don't really care about him. Like, just pinning it on the organization for why he played so poorly. I like Shedeur Sanders. I've been on record that I would have loved for the Ravens to draft Shedeur Sanders. He obviously put the kibosh on that. So therefore he's a Brown. Therefore he is a AFC North division enemy. Here's the thing. Everybody can have their opinion on this. I mean, it's normal for second or third stringers not to get reps with the first team. That's all normal. You'll hear football players who have been journeymen all say, yeah, I never got first team reps. Do you think that Tyler Huntley is getting first team reps when Lamar Jackson is healthy? No, Lamar Jackson's getting all the first team reps. So whatever, all that's going on. But the bottom line is that the Ravens took care of business against both Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And while everybody else is fighting about this, the Ravens couldn't care less. They have no sympathy, starting with Roquan Smith.
It's a rookie at the end of the day. When you play a rookie in this league, you have to let them know they are rookies. Like, that's just what it is. Like, as a defense, a rookie should never be able to do crazy things on, like, a defense, especially with the amount of guys we have here. And that's just like how I look at it, with all due respect to him. I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a great player. Got a lot of respect for his family as well. And Gabriel as well. At the end of the day, they're rookies. And so rookies coming into the league, every defense should feel that way. They're rookie.
Even though you guys giving your 110% every play, what do with all the hype going in? When you came in, was like a little pepper in your step? I feel like you guys really defending your pride when he was out there.
Absolutely not. The mission is the mission, and the mission wasn't complete regardless of who's out there. Could have put Stefanski at quarterback. Like, regardless, we have to play all brand of football, and that's just what it is. And, like, he was the next man up, wishing Gabriel a speedy recovery, and, you know, so on and so forth. But we just have to control what we can control, and that's how we go about our business.
You know, once he starts getting into fast-paced talking row, right?
Yeah.
Quick. I mean, you know, he's feeling it. He's dialed in. And I think we both love the message. We love the sentiment. Quote, when you play a rookie in this league, you have to let them know that they're rookies. With all due respect to him, meaning Shedeur, I think he's a great player. I think he's going to be a great player. And then obviously, you know, pays his respects to the family as well, with Dion and his obviously storied NFL career and now coaching career. He's like, rookies coming in the league. Every defense should feel that way. They're a rookie. Throws the Kevin Stefanski one-liner in there. I mean, it had a little bit of everything, twists, turns, humor, intensity, but the message stands, Sarah, and that is the Ravens did what they were supposed to do. They got pressure on young quarterbacks, inexperienced quarterbacks. They turned Shedeur over in the form of a Nate Wiggins interception. Draymond Jones gets the winning pressure. We'll get into that in just a bit, being that it was a controversial one. But Draymond also echoed those sentiments from Roquan post-game as well. Listen to this.
The stadium obviously got really hyped when Shedeur Sanders came in. What was that moment like, and did that get you guys any extra momentum, you know, trying to shut them down?
No, it gave us zero extra momentum. The momentum was already there. Ro did a good job of just bringing us together and just relaying the message that everything is the same. Like, we're going to go out there and just kill. And I thought we did a good job. I thought our defense played great.
We're going to go out there and just kill, and that's something that, again, was relayed from Roquan. So, again, you kind of see where we're going here with today's show. Zero sympathy, killer instincts, and ultimately they don't care, as you put it, they don't care about what's become ballooned into this snowball effect from a national conversation because of how polarizing this situation is in Cleveland. That doesn't matter to the Ravens. What matters is that they walked away victorious in a game that could have gone either way, in a game that they were far from perfect, in a game that had over 30 plus mile an hour winds and blustery conditions. They needed everything they can get and got from Tyler Loop in probably his biggest stage so far, I would say, as a rookie. We'll have a quick hit on him in just a bit. But that's the reality. And what happened is AFC North football at its finest. The Ravens have been in this position before and been on the wrong end of the ultimate decision, and they made sure to buck that trend yesterday.
It feels so good. I feel like we have like 2022, 2023 Roquan Smith back, where he is talking his talk, but he's also backing it up. You can't talk if you're not backing it up, and he hadn't been recently, but before his injury and also after his injury, since he's been back, we're back to Roquan. He made the final game saving or the game sealing pass breakup. And he's out there, he's flying around, he's hitting people hard. There's less communication bus. Like, he's just back. And so he has the right to go up there and be like, he said, he invoked the word rookie like 5 times. You're a rookie. You're a rookie. Rookie. And I want you to feel like a rookie. Like, that's what you are. We're going to put you in your place. And that's what they did. And it's the Ravens. It's the Baltimore Ravens defense, your division rival, that has sent this all into controversy. And we said it going into the game. We felt like it was going to be time we were finally going to see Shedeur Sanders. And the Ravens just made the Browns, their AFC North enemy, wonder, do we have a quarterback on our roster that would make us not draft another first-round quarterback? Like, the Browns perpetually have to use their first-rounders on quarterbacks, and it just isn't working out for them. In this case, obviously with Shedeur, it's 5th round. So absolutely no sympathy. In fact, if you ask KVN when he did his show last night, which 4 wins in a row, and he got a sack, hopefully he gets a little bit less pushback on doing it. But here was his perspective of the change at the quarterback.
I didn't know in the game that Gabriel had a concussion. I actually thought he got benched. I didn't know. I was like, the crowd went crazy. Woo, Shedeur. And, that was a cool moment for him getting his start. But, man, we kind of took, I felt like, man, they're really going to throw him against us. And felt like it was our time to, welcome him.
They're really going to throw him in against us? Let's welcome him. So that's kind of how it was. There was no sympathy on the defensive side. There was some sympathy, though, Bobby, on the other side of the ball, because as we all know, LeJohntay and Shedeur were teammates at the University of Colorado. And after the game, Shedeur didn't look like he wanted to get up off the bench. He was like still processing everything that happened, probably having his, first career start, but also realizing how it went down wasn't the best. And here comes LeJohntay coming over there. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Let's see here. This one right here. Look at that. LeJohntay slides over there. Yes, they're on different teams now. Yes, they're division rivals. But that's his former teammate from Colorado. So I thought it was pretty cool to see him go over there and just kind of, I don't know, show some support to his guy. Listen, I do like Shedeur. I do think he's still, I think 2 things are true at once. It's normal for second stringers not to get first team reps, but I also think it's true that he wasn't quite prepared. And it looks like Dylan will still be in concussion protocol. Shedeur will probably get the start again next week. So he'll probably get first team reps this week, and he'll have a better opportunity to prepare. Rather, that was pretty cool to see LeJohntay go over there and just give some support to his former college teammate.
The ironic part is that the support and the consoling could have been mutual because LeJohntay had a game to forget. Now, what did LeJohntay do? What did LeJohntay do, though? He got up there and faced the music in a media scrum that I watched in full, 2 or 3 minutes worth, that dropped on the Ravens YouTube channel last night. Held himself accountable, vowed to improve, and get it fixed. And he's going to have to do that because that muff punt against good teams is going to lead to 7. The Ravens defense made sure that mistake was just a 3-point gift for Cleveland in the form of a field goal. And then that first return that he got too, you can't be fielding at your own 1 or 2 yard line. I get it. Guy wants to make a play. He's explosive. He's twitchy. He's speedy. He's shown us in preseason, Sarah, that he's capable at the NFL level of being a dynamic returner for them. But it's all got to be done in moderation. And I hope, hopefully, as he continues, he's a young player, really young player. Chris Horton, I'm sure, is going to be in the film room with him this week. They'll go back to him. They didn't initially. They trotted Keaton Mitchell and Rasheen Ali out there not long after that muffed punt, but they did go back to him after that. So good news for him. Back to the Ravens defense. Roquan Smith talked about Zio's game that he's called. Zach has been under fire at times. Really, you got to go back weeks now for it to have been kind of a conversation that at least earned a lot of oxygen within the fan base. There are still areas for improvement, particularly when it comes to some of the angles, the pursuit angles, and a tackling polish or lack thereof. But overall, this is a group that now for weeks running and really back-to-back weeks has gone out and established, hey, we're going to go win games for this group as Lamar and this offensive line struggle. Here is Roquan talking about his first-year defensive play caller. And when I say first year, his second-year defensive play caller in Zio.
Always had a tremendous amount of respect for Zio. It's America. Like I said earlier in the week, people are always going to have opinions. That's why I guess it's home of the free. So people are going to voice their opinions, and they have the right to do so. But I never wavered. He never wavered, nor did anybody in the locker room, because we knew who we were, and it was just more so about getting out and being who we are. And the job is not complete. The mission is not complete. We're still on task.
Just go.
He still had that game adrenaline running through his blood. You can tell. This is America. That's fine. You can have your opinion, but watch this.
It was going a mile a minute. And at times, Sarah, this defense, in all the right ways, was going a mile a minute. They held Shedeur and Dillon and this Cleveland offense to 2 for 14 on third down. They were 2 of 14. It says third down efficiency. It was anything but efficient for Cleveland. And did you notice how different their offense became when they went to Shedeur? It's almost as if the playbook was opened up and they wanted to push the ball downfield. Now, they didn't have a ton of success in doing so, but it felt like there was a completely different game plan that was unveiled for Shedeur. And perhaps that's, look, everybody wants to have their conversations, as you've already alluded to, nationally in terms of whether or not he was set up for success, failure, first team reps, so on and so forth. Dylan's likely going to be in concussion protocol. You're going to have a chance to have a full week of first team reps if that remains. And Shedeur's going to have a chance to go showcase himself after a full week, as QB1. So that'll be interesting moving forward. But again, this was a Cleveland offense that is among the worst, if not the worst, in the entire league. And they showed you why, no matter who was at quarterback for them. And the Ravens, I think, deserve a lot of credit, particularly the way that they pursued the quarterback with defensive blitzes, pressure early and often. They held him to 3.5 yards per play, 187 total yards. So it was domination by a defense that you go back to week 6, Sarah. They've allowed 17 points to a Rams team that's got a darn good chance to come out of the NFC when it's all said and done. Chicago's won 7 of 8. They held the Bears to 16 total points. The Bears then went and put 40 plus up on Cincinnati so they can score. They held Miami to 6 points on Thursday Night Football. They held the Vikings last week to 19 and, of course, 16 yesterday in Cleveland. So this is a group that is far from complete, but you got to give them their flowers from an output standpoint. And since Draymond Jones showed up from a pass rush standpoint, they're starting to answer the bell, and it's perhaps a good sign of things to come.
Well, to sum that up, the last time the Ravens defense allowed more than 20 points in a game was October 5th. We're heading into Thanksgiving. It's November 17th. And they haven't given up more than 20 points since October 5th. Remember that Texans game? That was atrocious. 44 points given up. 44-10 loss. Just the bottom basement of what this defense was doing. So they are ticked. And of course we're in America, and all of us Americans thought the defense was terrible. Like all us Baltimoreans thought this defense was terrible. But you got to give them credit. I mean, again, the Rams, they can put up points, held them to 17. You just went through all of them. Not since October 5th have they given up more than 20 points. And you can't underestimate how big of a part this man right here, Kyle Hamilton, has in all of this. This dude is off the charts, and it's becoming, you're starting to hear Depoy and Kyle Hamilton more often in the same sentence beyond this show, beyond Baltimore. We've all been saying it. We've been thinking it. Mike Sando puts up a play last night of Hamilton playing inside linebacker, and he cuts through the offensive line and is able to take down Joel, how do you say his last name? Bitonio?
Joel Bitonio.
Bitonio, that sounds way better. That sounded more like Italian there. Bitonio, but he just blew up that play. So Ted Nugent from The Athletic quote retweets that. He says, the stats won't be flashy, but this is the Depoy. How can you, I mean, we all see it. We see it every single game. The problem is it might also be Myles Garrett, who's on the other side of the field. So if you look at Kalshi, who's got the odds for the Defensive Player of the Year winner, Myles Garrett is winning it hands down. He's at 65%. Then again, usually when you get voted in for these things, you need to have a winning team. And the Browns aren't that. And if this is a narrative-driven thing, just like MVP is, to see this turnaround that the defense has had and is unmistakably linked to Kyle Hamilton and opening him up and letting him play how he is, then he can move up this. He's at 18% right now. So Myles Garrett, 65%, Brian Burns, 20%, Kyle Hamilton, 18%, and then Micah Parsons, 10%. I love seeing Kyle Hamilton's name in this conversation.
As Zach said a year plus ago, that was the goal, that they want him in that conversation. He deserves to be in that conversation. Myles is on a historic level of conversation, as we all saw yesterday, and he's been playing out of his mind. But, specifically speaking to Kyle's game, 9 tackles, 1 forced fumble. He had a sack. Hassan back again, who continues to capture great photography and photographs in game. Got Kyle trolling Shedeur with his watch celebration after getting him. So, and then, you want history. The Ravens comms Twitter account gave you exactly that. So those numbers, Kyle became the first defensive back and the second NFL player who also was a Raven, the other one being the great Peter Boulware, since 1999 to post the stat line that he did. And he finished with, again, to qualify, it was at least 9 tackles, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections, 1 forced fumble in a single game. The only other player since 1999 to do that, again, is also a Raven in former linebacker Peter Boulware. And at times, Kyle Hamilton in recent weeks is viewed as a linebacker. The guy's a freaking linebacker. He's the 3rd linebacker for this team.
He's everything. He's a linebacker. He's slot. He's strong safety. He's outside linebacker. Like, he's everything. He is everything. So we will continue to watch the Depoy kind of market as we move along. So should we get to an ad read and some super chats?
Yeah, I did want to throw Ken's tallied statistic in here that he was doing research-wise earlier this morning, because, again, I just think it speaks to overall what's been working right for this Ravens defense. And as Ken noted, their dime package, which had not been delivering good results the past few weeks, had 18 snaps against Cleveland for a combined 9 yards. That's less than 1 yard per play. And that included and featured Keon Martin, undrafted rookie, who was playing for an injured Marlon Humphrey at times last night. That was, of course, one of his opportunities that he got, who was inserted, as Ken notes here, as Kyle Hamilton moved to dime back, and Keon got to Shedeur Sanders, I think it was, or was it Dylan? Was he in on that Oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. Who did Keon get his sack on? Was it Shedeur?
I feel like it was the second half, so it would have been Shedeur because he got the pass breakup in the first half.
Okay.
That's how I remember it.
Because at one point, man, Kyle Hamilton put a licking on Dylan. And I think him slamming him to the ground was part of what led to his exit into concussion protocol. But don't you just get doesn't the word gladiator perfectly summarize what Kyle Hamilton is in 2025 for this Ravens defense? He's a gladiator. And I think that there were times last night, Sarah, where he was playing through significant pain, and yet he just finds a way to manage said pain and impact the game in so many different aspects. It's so fun to watch this in a year that is 2025, where you just go back to what Sis told us in September. The guy spans multiple generations, could have played in any generation in the National Football League history. So, but yes, let's get on to what we were going to go to a minute or so ago, and that is the folks at Gumtree, Maryland, kind enough to sponsor this program as they have all season long, and our package comes to an end today. But man, we hope that you guys, just because you won't be hearing from Gumtree on Mondays moving forward doesn't mean that you won't go check them out. If either you're visiting for a Ravens home game over the next couple months of the season, or maybe you're in the area, in this case, the Owings Mills area, you can go check them out. They're a state-of-the-art training and recreational facility. We're talking about 86,000 square feet, 46 lanes. It offers the size and amenities of a country club while also being open to the public. Their mission, pretty simple. We've been telling you all about them for a couple months now. It's safety, it's education, and training for all skill levels. It's from beginning levels all the way up to the professional side of things. And if you have an event, maybe a milestone, a birthday, a wedding, you name it, something that's worth celebrating, from now up until the next couple days, promo code VAULT event. That is VAULT event. Will get you $250 off your rental. And these guys have a little bit of everything when it comes to their space, their amenities. Their VIP lounge features a cigar lounge, private bathrooms, private range. You could do corporate, social, private events. They have catering options as well for you. And as you just go over to the website, Gumtree.com, which you can find in the show notes, we also have all their social media links that are included in our show notes. I mean, just take your pick. You can learn so much about what they have all across the board. And Sarah, I remember just a couple months ago, we were talking about, from a family standpoint, how awesome it would be if you were in the area to go check out, their simulators and with the kids and different courses that they have for self-defense and fitness training. I mean, this place knows no bounds, and we've been super honored to be partnering up with them this season.
Definitely could spend a whole day over at Gumtree. Could spend a whole day playing games, going and using those simulators, having lunch, or if I needed to plan a big event, if I were in the area. Gumtree's got that too. It just seems like a do it all kind of facility.
443-973-4867 is how you can give them a buzz. info@gumtree.com is how you can email them. All their social networks right here, as you see if you toggle on down to the bottom of the website. But again, we have all of those easily linked for you in the show notes. So again, thanks to Gumtree for all their continued support of the program. We will always push folks to go check them out if you're in the Owings Mills area. And again, if you have something scheduled, and maybe, who knows, Sarah, in a couple months from now, that ends up being a road trip for folks that are out of the Baltimore area for a home playoff game, for all we know. You never know. There's still a chance that they could host a wild card game. You never know. Or maybe not a wild card. Well, actually, I guess they could technically host wild card weekend. Anyway, that's way down the line.
Look at you talking about the Ravens hosting a playoff game. What has happened to Robert Trossett? Robert Francis Trossett is sitting here on November 17th thinking about the Ravens hosting a wild card game. What has happened to you?
From my Gumtree lens, I'm thinking about it.
Oh,
yes.
sure. Okay.
Still a long way to go.
Okay.
Long way to go. But they are in darn good position. 2-0 in the division. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers is dealing with his fracture in his wrist, whatever we think that is. It's a small fracture. A lot of testing there. The non-throwing wrist is an important piece of the puzzle there. But yeah, we'll have to see how things shake out. And special thanks to Gundry for all the support of our program. Linda E, right before we came on today, dropped in a $100 burger. Linda, so thank you. So grateful to have you with us on this Monday. Linda writes, happy Victory Monday. I won't even watch mainstream coverage this week because they'll take Lamar's average play and use it to fuel the negative fire. How do more people not see the terrible offensive line is trying to kill him? Linda, appreciate you for your meatloaf on this Monday. And that brings us to Morrow, the Wizard, with a 20 spot.
He says, Monken was very still with play calls. No motion switch releases to get wideouts open. Just kind of line up and drop back. Let's say by Lamar's back foot guys were rarely open or out of routes, worsened with the battle line. Yeah, Todd Monken is getting a lot of love for the hurricane call, but could probably spice it up, especially in the red zone.
Thanks, Morrow. Captain writes, still around 50% or sub 50% touchdown rate, conversion rate inside the 20. That's just it's not good enough.
Not going to cut it.
It's not. And it's going to come back to, well, we'll see. Captain says Lamar isn't dropping back as far as he used to in 2023 and 2024. He would take like 10-yard dropbacks. I think it helps the offensive line and gave him more time, and Todd might be gone if the offense keeps struggling.
But
Captain. He also writes, crazy part is Buffalo and the Chiefs have a worse chance of making the playoffs than the Ravens just because they won't win their division. And Nate Campbell's here.
Nate says, still believe this offensive line will be our downfall. Props to EDC for getting 41, meaning Tremont. We're just going to keep doing it. Draymond.
It's been a collective effort. We have collectively botched his name.
That's got to happen to him a lot, right? Like Green and whatever. Okay. Dude is instantly in the backfield, 3 to 5 plays per game. We're going to talk about him a little bit more on terms of controversy, but yes, he has the pressure. He's instantly brought more pressure. It's opening things up for Mike Green. You still have Kyle Hamilton kind of everywhere and you can blitz with him, but it's been one of those extremely solid trades that is not like a big name dude that the national media will talk about. But he has been a difference maker. Make no mistake.
That final defensive drive, man, he was bringing it early and often. Appreciate you, Nate. Sadesh writes, Victory Monday, and the winning streak continues. Offensive line still needs help, though. #Ravens. Edwin Rice, for you.
Great gutsy victory. Got to remember, Browns have a top 5 defense. They play well at home, and this is a divisional opponent. Defense looks like it's turned the page. Gilman and Jones trades paying off.
Thanks, Edwin. Monica's celebrating 7 months. Happy Win Monday and love our Ravens and my VAULTRON family. We love you, Monica. And Capybara says Draymond Jones has unlocked our pass rush. Him and Travis deserve so much love for holding down the trenches. They're getting one-on-ones for Green, and everyone else is flying in from the outside. Beautiful to see. Pinky.
Winning teams win close games. They win ugly games. Go, go, go. Not good for my BP. But good for the team.
Sean Carter, sup, flock. Glad we got the win, but we must address this offensive line. Our defense carried us, but it's not enough. Zach is in his bag with the defense. Shedeur's first start against us was a baptism by fire. Steve-O.
Steve-O says, good divisional road win, but maybe we need another Monken hit piece. This is what was said last night. Also, rollout/shotgun runs need to be thrown out if Lamar isn't going to pull it and run it. Offensive line with another stellar performance. Was that sarcastic?
Correct. Hayes09 says, was at the game last night, packed and fun. Again, the offensive line is the weak spot. Offense should have a high game next Sunday. We'll have to finish off former backup Super Bowl Raven, Tyrod Ripperoni. Hayes09.
You know what, Bobby? Here, this is another good one. So Doozy Dope is doing the na Fa'alele goodbye. But this is like the 4th super chat on the offensive line. I do have a almost staple at this point, Rave Kingdom, putting up videos of Fa'alele. Now, we will give him his props on the 59-yard run for Derrick Henry. He sealed his block. He gobbled up his defender. That was awesome. But we still have all of these plays. Cue Rave Kingdom.
Look at Daniel Falala. Look at Daniel Falala. Look at Daniel Falala. Look at Daniel Falala. Get off of me, boy.
Oh, that's bad.
Daniel Falala. Woo! Get off of me, boy. Daniel Falala.
He was like a what's the word I'm looking for? Ping machine. What are the machines? You're just like bouncing around. You're just a ball in there getting bounced around by everybody. I mean, he literally got turned around and bounced off of, never made a single block, look lost. That was a bad play. And to look silly like that week in and week out, it's not good. And it's crazy that the Ravens don't feel like they have somebody that's better than that when we're seeing this week in and week out.
That's what
Pinball.
might be the most.
Pinball is the word I was looking for. Pinball machine. Thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't help you out there, but yeah, that's might be actually the most telling / concerning part of this entire epidemic, because they don't feel like they have somebody internally that is better than what 77's been putting out there on tape. Dozy Dope is chanting, nah, 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 nah. BG Method is celebrating 8 months. And BG writes, sup, Vaultrons. I got love for you all. Love our hosts. Love for my veterans. There's some similarities with our last big run. And this year, I believe. BG, thank you for saying that. You know, we were not live last week on Veterans Day. So it goes without saying, anybody who is currently serving, has served this country, we salute you. We appreciate you. We thank you. And we're sorry that we were not live on Veterans Day last week. Keyshawn Meekin, Sarah.
It says, can 77 get a lane at Gumtree to learn how to pass block? Maybe in their simulators.
Isaiah C278 says, happy 8 months of channel membership, Isaiah.
Damn,
I know
crazy.
it's the Browns.
8 months.
Yeah, that goes back to March, I think.
Yeah.
Isaiah writes, I know it's the Browns, but glad our defense is winning games now. Yeah, back-to-back weeks, certainly. Joey C says, all my homies hate number 77, but props, as you just mentioned, on his block on Henry's long run. We also mentioned that last night as well. Simon Bowl is here.
Wow. Everybody talking about Daniel Fa'alele. He said, we need number 77 off the team ASAP. 3 of LJ sacks are on him.
Yeah, well, guess what? Roger Rosengarten, look, Roger Rosengarten struggled yesterday as well. There was one specific rep that I remember, Andrew Voorhees getting knocked back into Lamar. Anybody that is looking for the answer to the puzzle piece that is trying to describe or ultimately complete the puzzle that is this offense, you have to start with the offensive line and the way that they are not holding up in pass protection. Lamar is indecisive. Lamar is hesitant. Lamar is unhealthy. And while he looked, I thought at one point early on in one of his keepers in the first quarter, like he looked healthier, clearly he is not 100%. I don't know what player is at this point in the middle of November. But Sarah, they're not going to be able to get to where they want to go if he can't process and go through his opening reads. It's just not going to end well for this team at all offensively. And at some point here, when you get through this favorable stretch, the defense will be bending more and it will break at times. And when that does happen, inevitably, the offense is going to have to hold serve. And right now, you just don't have a lot of confidence that they're capable of doing that the way that they're currently shaping up offensive line-wise.
Yeah, a lot of people, this is an interesting question. Like, I feel like, and I could be wrong, that if Lamar went to John Harbaugh and said, hey, we got to get 77 out of there, I think they would do it. But I think that just says something because everybody's upset at the coaches, which I'm most upset that EDC didn't rectify this during the offseason. That's what I'm most like. This is where it goes back. Or Ben Cleveland, you brought him back in when you know that John Harbaugh really doesn't trust him and whatnot. So there's really never a plan to have somebody behind Daniel Fa'alele and to really push him because I think they were believers in him. I think that they were believers. And that's more where I'm upset. But like, I do believe that if Lamar wanted to, he could go in there and say, hey, we need 77 out. And I think they would listen, which is why I don't think he has.
Yeah, maybe not.
pure hypothesis there.
Maybe not. Well, the good news is that Quinnen Williams will not be lining up opposite them this upcoming week because Quinnen Williams is no longer a New York Jet.
Yeah.
So remember, they obviously traded away a number of their pieces prior to the deadline a couple weeks ago. But if you are just tuning in, we'll take a look at the Jets later on this week, but they will be starting Tyrod Taylor as QB1, and they've benched Justin Fields. So that's the latest there. We appreciate you guys for being with us on this Victory Monday. Over 2,400 concurrents at the moment. Like the video if you could on the way in or out. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Consider becoming a channel member or gift-giving membership. It's time to talk about more controversy as it relates to Cleveland and something that Kyle Van Noy addressed on his podcast last night, Sarah.
Yeah, so lots of the offensive linemen for Cleveland were upset on that last play that Roquan Smith was able to knock down, and they felt like Shedeur was rushed into the pass because they felt like Draymond Jones got a step on the snap. So this is so interesting to me. So obviously these Twitter accounts or whatever exaggerate things, but it's like in all caps with the alarms. Awful missed call. Ravens were clearly offsides on the Browns' final play of the game. Baltimore was offsides because of that. It caused a pressure that blew up Cleveland's fourth down play. Cleveland players and coaching staff were really angry, and you did see them on the broadcast complaining and whatnot. I don't know about like this awful stuff. Like this certainly wasn't blatant. They were very upset. Here, Emmanuel Acho is showing a video saying, "Oh yeah, he's definitely off." So watch where he points at with Draymond Jones, and you tell me if this was he got a head start or he just timed it up perfectly.
Should have been an offsides called on that last play. Dude didn't just get a good jump. It was an illegal jump. That's why Wyatt Teller got beat so bad, number 77. I mean, Shedeur can't win like this. You see number 77's livid.
All right, let me play that again. I'll put it on mute here.
It's a tough angle that Emmanuel has here. There's better angles on. It's hard. It's zoomed out. You know, you go on Twitter and you see some of the ones that are like zoomed in. It's close. It is very close. To me, it's almost a coin flip. And as folks are commenting on the live chat, Sarah, right? It goes both ways yesterday. The Ravens may have gotten away with one here. Cleveland may have gotten away with one on Tylan Wallace in the end zone.
No. But here's the difference. Here's the difference between the two. There isn't a may versus a may. Maybe the Ravens got away from one, but like you said, it's 50-50. It's very hard to see, and it's in real time. And I didn't see it right there in Emmanuel Acho. Maybe there's another angle that's like, okay, makes it become a coin flip. So there's a may. With this one, there is no may. Like the way that this is represented here, where they call it an awful missed call, at best it's 50-50.
I'm gonna get you the clip that
because
I should have gotten for us pre-show, because I think it's pretty obvious with this one.
Okay, because this is blatant right here, to your point. Like this is absolutely blatant, where the defender has Tylan Wallace's arm. Like he's completely got his arm pinned against him when the ball is through the air. That's egregious. That's blatant. That's obvious. That was an awful missed call. So I will love to see the video that you got coming in here.
Yeah, here it is. Here's more of a zoomed in clip on the jump that Draymond gets. And I think it's pretty, it's funny. When you watch the zoomed out clip that Acho provided, it's inconclusive.
Yeah.
When you go zoomed in like this, to me, it becomes pretty obvious right there.
So he's moving before the ball snapped, but is he across the line of scrimmage? I don't think so. He's moving. He timed it up perfectly. That's what they're taught to do. Moving, ball snap, then he crosses the line of scrimmage. I don't think it's blatant. You made it sound like it was more clear. I don't think so.
I do. I do. I do
yeah.
think now that I see this versus what Acho provided, yeah, I think this.
I mean, he's moving, but you 100% think that he's across the line of scrimmage before the ball is snapped.
That area is a lot closer than the previous one that we mentioned. Yes,
it's closer, but it's not blatant. It's not clear. To me,
well, from a line of scrimmage standpoint, I don't know. It's
at best 50-50. That's at best.
At best 50-50.
Yes. When in terms of him crossing the line of scrimmage, in terms of him crossing the line of scrimmage when the ball is snapped, he's not across it yet.
I don't know. And we're not far off. I just think it's a little bit closer than maybe 50-50. But
well, okay, so we're going to agree to disagree, and obviously KVN is he disagrees with Cleveland, and he agrees with the refs, and he told Cleveland to be quiet.
Yeah.
Defensive side of the ball, the big moment of the game was the 4th down stop the defense had. Draymond Jones, Big Dre, shout out to him, getting traded here from the Titans and then coming in and making a huge impact. I mean, we're going to roll the tape right here because you're going to see him get a hell of a get off. I don't care what anyone says. He wasn't there. He wasn't in the neutral zone. He jumped the count right. He jumped it perfect. It was like so close, bang, bang. And, they were complaining the O-line was like, nah, he got it. Like, be quiet, win the game. But, man, what a play that was with the money on the line for the money. Gets a great get off, makes disruption in there, causes havoc, makes Shedeur process a little bit faster than what he wants, and then is able to, have him make a tough throw and incomplete, game over. And that to me was the big moment on defense. I mean, I feel like we had a lot, but that was.
Yeah. So KVN, this is what they're taught to do, to time that up as best as they can. That's how this is a game of inches. It's a game of centimeters. This is what defensive linemen want to do. They want to time it up to catch the offensive guards off guard or the offensive line off guard. And I feel like I think that's how you draw it up. That's how you draw it up. Like I said, maybe 50-50, but nowhere close of being able to say it's an awful missed call. It's blatant, yada, yada, yada. And on top of it, like, do we really think that that's what made the Browns lose at the end there? Did anybody really think that Shedeur Sanders, with the way things were going, without his first team snaps, with how much pressure they were putting on him, with the decisions that he was making, like, is this what we're going to say to the side of the game? I'm not buying any of that.
Bottom line overall, really all that matters is that Draymond has come in 2 weeks and tallied up 6, 7, 8 pressures. I think it was 4 or 5 in his debut as a Raven, a couple more yesterday, including the game-winning pressure that we're having all this conversation about right now. And that's what's so positive moving forward, that they're now featuring a player that is organically bringing it. He's bringing the heat on his own based on technique, skill, explosiveness, experience. And that's what they traded for. Mm-hmm. And he's playing with reckless abandon out there. And that's exciting. It's exciting for Mike Green. It's exciting for this entire front, Kyle Van Noy. And it's something that opposing offenses are going to have to take into account with 41 on the edge. So Kyle Van Noy mentioned that, that was, as you mentioned earlier on, the game sealing pressure, but the game changing play is also something that KVN talked about. And on that game changing play en route to the end zone, Mark Andrews reached the top speed of his career. Keep in mind, this guy's only a couple years removed from a serious ankle injury because of a hip drop tackle on Thursday Night Football by Cincinnati. Logan Wilson, linebacker, who's no longer there. 20.09 miles an hour is what he reached at peak speed for a house call. And it all was dialed up courtesy of Todd Monken and the offensive staff. We don't know who actually deserves credit because
there were many fathers, Bobby, many fathers of that play.
That was hilarious. We probably didn't laugh enough at that last night. I know we did, but we should have laughed at it more because of what John Harbaugh said at his post-game podium last night. But
check out this angle. Check out this angle from the end zone. Let me pause it here real quick. That everybody's like pointing out. So I do love with this play call, it's not just the fake, but you've also got Lamar and Derrick Henry hooking left. So watch, including, I think, the safeties and linebackers look at that. And I think I don't know if it's a safety or an inside linebacker, but he's right in the middle of the line, number 33.
Yeah.
He sees Lamar and Derrick Henry go to their left, and he breaks right over there. And then look at his head go back. He's like, whoops.
Yep.
Ball went the other way. So now all Mark Andrews has to do is go through the parted Red Sea that is made by Charlie Kolar and Roger Rosengarten on the left, and Pat Ricard taking care of business on the right. And then he's got to get through the sea. And then all he's got to do is outrun Swishinger. But 21, the safety, he probably could have caught Mark. But because of the play design with Lamar and Henry going to the left, he gone. Like, it was just such a beautifully designed play, to whom we don't know how to give credit, but to everybody. I guess Todd Monken and John Harbaugh and all other coaches on the coaching staff deserve credit. But it was just a beautiful, beautiful play. And I love seeing that angle even better.
I thought you and Cole did a good job of divvying up like player credit, right? As you just kind of did here and he did on X, right? Like Derek and Lamar's involvement in the play indirectly. Rodgers' outside hook and Charlie Kolar's seal of the edge, as you mentioned. And then, of course, the one that got a lot of pub just because it was so obvious right there on the outside. You know, Ricard's block on Grant Delpit, who talked a bunch of stuff leading into week 2 in the home opener. Like, it was just, and then Mark finishing off the job on a day that was already historic for him, knowing that he moved into sole possession of all-time franchise receiving yards, leading the way and passing the great Derek Mason, who was a pass catcher back in the day for the Ravens, who I don't know if we've had him on the vault, but I know he was on my personal show when I was in London a couple of years ago. Great guy. I know you've interviewed him a number of times over the years, right?
I have, but I'm also, by the way, seeing a little bit of confusion on the joke that we're talking about with the many fathers and who came up with it. So I'm trying to bring back on. Here we go. Here's Harbs on it. He was asked, hey, what was your action when you heard that play called? And he's like, well, I didn't hear it. Like, I was a part of the conversation. Here he is.
Well, I didn't hear it. We were talking about it.
I actually called it.
I mean, I heard that I knew it was going to be called, but it was part of the conversation. And
he's basically saying, I wasn't a bystander on the sideline is what he's trying to get across. Let's keep going.
I was excited. You know, it was a good call. We talked about calling that if we got inside of 1. If we weren't inside of 1, we weren't going to go for it. But we got to 1 because Lamar and Hop execute and make a play and gets us down in there. And then we get, I can't remember the sequence of events, but that was the call that was going to be made. And man, it was so beautifully executed. When you see it, and a good idea has many fathers, right? But when you see it executed well, I mean, that's what makes it a good idea. And that's what I'm probably most proud of.
John, so before that.
A good idea has many fathers. So I think he wants part credit. He wants Monken to get part credit and whoever else. He was a part of the conversation. He wasn't a bystander.
Oh, it's almost even better the second time through. There you go. Hopefully that cleared up some confusion, as you mentioned in the live chat. Let's get to some super chats here. We've got quick hits as well to get to. I actually think we're caught up. Mike sent this in earlier. He said, I don't think anyone should pronounce 77's last name properly until he learns how to block. Hashtag fa-la-la. Mike tuning in from Hawaii, as he always does. So appreciate you, Mike. Micah. Excuse me. And did we have this one up from Simon earlier? I think we did.
I read that one. Yep, I read that one.
We're fully caught up on super chats. So thanks for being with us today, guys. Snap counts from Jeff, as he always tweets out the Monday after game. Sarah, a bunch of different observations here. Bateman, of course, missed the first game of perhaps a multi-week kind of sideline action here with that high ankle sprain. Mm-hmm. DeAndre Hopkins got 42 offensive snaps. Keaton Mitchell and Rasheen Ali broke up, basically split Justice Hill snaps, who missed the game with a toe. Cheeto Awuzie nearly goes the distance in place of an injured Marlon Humphrey, who had a pin placed in his finger. And then, of course, quality defensive snaps logged by the undrafted rookie Keon Martin, much of which was inside. and Travis Jones, who continues to play, Sarah, and play early and often for this team in the interior part of their defensive line, almost gets 80% of the defensive share. That is a lot for big number 98, who they've been leaning on heavily.
Yeah. Yeah, he's stepping up. I just hope he can last. We need him to go the distance. Could you imagine if they lost Travis Jones too?
No, I could not. And they'd be leaning on Okoye and Taven Bryan, and they'd have to call up more practice squad play. It'd be a disaster. They'd be asking for more than maybe they need to or want to from Brent Urban, who had a great play, by the way.
Yeah.
Knifing through the offensive line there, the backup left tackle on second down in the red zone. Great play.
Yeah.
Brent had 14 snaps yesterday. That was 25% of the share. If you were wondering what's been up with David Ajabo, who continues a really, really quiet contract year, 19 snaps for 35% of the share. You curious about anybody else? Draymond Jones, 33. Think about what Draymond's doing. He's not even playing. He's playing just over 50% of snaps defensively, 33 for 60% of the share, and yet the guy was balling. He's also a special teamer. Draymond had 4 snaps as a special teteamer. Anybody else that comes to mind?
Just not necessarily look up, but just to comment on like Hopkins 42 and did Tez get 0? Did Tez ever see the field?
Devontae had 9 for 15% of the share.
9.
And then as he always
42
does,
for Hopkins, because we all talked about, we knew that Tez would be called up, or at least he wouldn't be inactive anymore. But we said, like Hopkins is going to get a big share too. Or we thought a decent share, but he got a huge share. Huge. And he came up with that big play that we heard Harbaugh reference just a few moments ago.
Little smoke screen from Harbs leading into the weekend, knowing that, he said something along the lines of, Tez is next man up.
Yeah.
Next man up. Tylen, 26 snaps for 43% of the share. Always plays special teams and a good special teams at that. 17 special team snaps for 55% of the share. And Devontae, from a special teams perspective, 14 for 45% of the share. So that was not one target for Devontae, as you alluded to, but he was out there for 9 offensive snaps.
Yeah. I keep giving Keon Martin his props, but I see him there. I just can't say enough about how well he played. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, man. Gosh, you think about what he's given him and Keandre Jackson in recent weeks in special teams. These are undrafted rookies that are balling, making impact plays. Good for them.
Yeah.
Speaking of special teams, the man who continues to stack and put together a nice rookie season here is Tyler Loop, rookie kicker. He was perfect on Sunday in Cleveland. That did include, as I tweeted out, a game-tying 44-yard conversion in blustery conditions. Wind was whipping at times over 30 miles an hour. And so far this year, Sarah, through now 10 games, 11 weeks, he's 19 of 21 in his field goals. That's 90.5% completion rate. He's 25 of 26 in his extra points. He's settled down from a dynamic kickoff strategizing standpoint and is no longer costing them, at least for the time being, as he did earlier on with field positions and whatnot, with some of those issues in the landing zone, or outside the landing zone, I should say. And then as I kind of summarize this tweet, because I do think that this is important moving forward, they will undoubtedly need him in high leverage moments. And I know a lot of you out there are still concerned with just given his rookie resume of when that time does come, will he answer the bell? Well, all he's doing right now is controlling what he can control. And Sarah, so far, yet again, through 10 games, 11 weeks, he continues to pass the test for them.
He does. Did you watch the post-game locker room speeches when John Harbaugh gave out footballs? Anyway, Loop and Stout both got game balls, and like they were so awkward when they were like speech. I was like, let's just move forward. It was so awkward. It's just different, let's say, from when Justin Tucker used to get game balls, who liked to talk a lot and had he liked the spotlight. He loved the spotlight for sure.
Yeah, he's never been uncomfortable with a mic in his hand at all, or a mic around him, or without any mic involved as well. Here's another quick hit.
Yeah, so Josh here just pointed out that Marlon Humphrey, who obviously didn't play yesterday due to his hand injury. He says he was among the visiting players summoned to take a random drug test screening after the game. The veteran cornerback obliged and shouted, "I didn't even play," as he celebrated with his teammates in the locker room. So he had to go in for his random drug test, even though he wasn't playing.
Amazing. Sizzle wasn't playing, but you would have thought that he was in the stands with the way that he was in-game tweeting last night from Arizona. And yeah, we had to censor a lot of this because he was going nuts. At one point, he's like, "Aw, shiz, here we go with the effery." Oh, you forgot one there, partner.
Oh, did I miss one?
He also said, I don't even know how to properly say all this.
Whatever. He was just going off yesterday.
Audio only you want to do. I'm just out of respect to our censored approach that we take on the Vault. Go ahead and look up Untouchable Jay on Twitter, and you'll have a real good understanding of how he was feeling in game.
He is a colorful commentator, that is for sure. Probably just a great follow. If you want colorful commentary, he's a great follow on Twitter. Here's also what was fun. Last week, he was on with the NFL Network, and he told this story. This is a good way to close down the show. Kind of a fun story about when Lamar Jackson was drafted. It was Terrell Suggs last year, and some of the impressions he had of Lamar.
If you guys haven't noticed, he's on a little bit of a media tour lately.
Yeah, he is.
Due to Hall of Fame candidacy and making sure that he's always going to be relevant, but that he's in the news and making sure that everybody remembers who T Sizzle is and was. So there you have it. And of course, we were part of that tour, by the way, in September, which was an honor to have him on the Vault. And I think you guys all enjoyed that. And he was very, very adamant, standing tall that day for the coaching staff, defending Zach Orr, defending the staff, defending Harbaugh, and saying essentially, hey, when you cross those lines onto the gridiron, onto the field, it is you and yours, and it is up to you. And it was a strong message, and it's certainly aging pretty darn well in some capacities since then. Happy birthday to Nambi Matabike. Obviously, tough to bring up Nambi, not knowing really what his future is, but I think we can do it at the very least. Wish the guy a happy birthday from a human level and hope that everything that clearly has been a complicated process, I guess, is a way of putting it, being that the last time John addressed this at the podium, Sarah, Nambi hadn't undergone any kind of procedure for his neck, leading you to believe that there were multiple opinions that he was seeking, or just the gravity of the situation and the severity of it. So anyway, you'd like to think you can bring it up without having to talk about that, but I know everybody, it's at their minds, it's at the top of their minds, knowing that he's such an important force for this defense. But nonetheless, happy birthday to Nambi.
Happy birthday to Nambi. Hope he's doing well. I hope he's getting clarity and he's getting healthy. Blake
Yaspa and No Way DJ, thank you both for believing in what we're building. We appreciate the support that you give us through Patreon, and this is your monthly shout out because of said support. So shout out you guys. Hope you're enjoying your Victory Mondays. And if you guys are interested in doing the same through Patreon, you can visit patreon.com/RavensVault podcast. That'll do it for today, and that'll do it for our fall campaign with the folks at Gumtree. Guys, if you could do us a favor, we would love for you to follow Gumtree on their social media accounts, whatever your go-to site is, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it, they are on it. And we so greatly appreciate their support all season long. So thanks to Gumtree. Thanks to all of you for spending some time with us on this Monday. Sarah and I will be back on Tuesday, as we always are, in our 12 noon format. John Harbaugh is set to meet with reporters for his Monday press conference. I believe that's still scheduled for an hour from now. So that'll be at 2:30 Eastern time. And Sarah and I, of course, will react to that accordingly, coming up in part of tomorrow's show. For everybody here inside the Vault today, I'm Bobby Trossett signing off from this Monday Ravens Lunch Hour live stream. We appreciate you guys for hanging with us. If you could, on the way out, like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, consider becoming a channel member or a gift-giving membership. Thanks to all of our Super Chat donors today, including Linda, who got it all started with that 100 burger. Appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day, and we'll catch up with you on Tuesday.